Let's talk about that day.
Yeah.
Take us, step by step through what kind of day it was, what you were doing, and what happened.
Yeah, so it happened on May 31st, 2010. It was Memorial Day. It was a Monday, so we had the day off from school, which I was stoked about. Not being an academic student, any days I could stay home from school, I would not complain. And so we had the day off, and I was just hanging out. I got a phone call from one of my best friends calling me, asking, what I was doing that day, and asked if I wanted to go to the beach. And growing up in Southern California, that is a thing you do all the time pretty much. And me being the active physical person that I was, I wanted to go to the beach with my friend. And so I asked my parents, and they were like, no, it's not happening. It being a holiday, the beach it's very crowded, it's chaotic, parking is terrible. My parents already had plans to go to this kind of pool party with another group of friends, and I didn't want to go, of course. I wanted to go to the beach, and when they told me no, I was a very persistent child. So when someone told me I couldn't have something, I always try to figure out a way to get it. And long story short, I ended up, they compromised where they were going to drop me off at my friend's house, and then my friend's parents were going to drop us off at the beach for the day and then pick us up later. So I got in the car. My parents agreed to drop me off at my friend's house, and on the way there, my dad actually just had a conversation with me about just being careful about accidents. Something could happen. It's really weird and crazy because he did talk about, neck injuries and getting paralyzed, which is really weird because that's never a conversation that really had came up before. But it was more of just like, be careful. I think my dad knew the type of person I was. I like to kind of push the limits on things and just do kind of crazy stuff. And I was rowdy. And, he was having this conversation with me as he was pulling up the street to my friend's house. And I remember just being like, yeah, Dad, I got it. I opened up the door, hopped out of the car. I was half listening, half just like mentally, like just thinking about the day, getting excited, going to the beach with some friends, seeing some girls, And so I just said goodbye, love you, Dad, hopped out of the car and went into my friend's house. And that was the last time my dad saw me walking.
Wow.
And so I get to the beach with my friends, and we meet up with another group of people, and we're there all day just hanging out, having a good time, go in the water, do some body surfing, boogie boarding. The water was actually really cold that day. And so we are hanging out, and the next thing you know, it's already the end of the day. My friend gets a phone call from his mom, letting us know that she's on her way leaving Orange County to come pick us up. So we figured, let's go in the water one last time, and until we get the call, and it's that total thing, like, hey, let's go do this one more time.
Yeah.
And because I knew the water was cold that day, my mindset was, hey, I'm just gonna run into the water, dive into a wave, submerge myself, get used to it, rip the Band-Aid off. I don't want to slowly get into the water and torture myself anymore.
Yeah.
And so me and my buddy, we stand up from the sand. He's right next to me. We start running towards the water. I remember the warm sand on my feet, then it's like the wet cold sand, then my feet hit the water. I get this chill that goes up the back of my spine just from that cold water reaction. And I see a wave in front of me. And in my mind, I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to dive into this wave under it, like I've done hundreds of times before in the ocean. And so I'm running closer and closer to this wave, farther out into the water. And I tuck my head down, put my arms out, dive headfirst into it. And the next thing I know, I'm floating face down in the water, fully conscious, and nothing in my body's working. No pain. I didn't even realize anything had happened until I went to try to get up, and I couldn't get up. And I'm laying face down in the water, unable to move anything, and instantly that thought or that conversation that my dad had with me really quickly pops into my head. And I don't know how long I was underwater for, but I connected the dots pretty quickly that, oh my gosh, I just paralyzed myself. I'm paralyzed. I can't move. And knowing myself and the type of person I was, the kind of prankster kid, teenager, I figured that my friends would think I was just messing around, just floating face down in the water.
Yeah.
And by the time they realized something serious had happened, I would have drowned and inhaled water. So all this stuff is going through my head, and I come to this conclusion that I'm going to die today at 15 years old. This is the extent of my life. And how could this be happening to me? This can't be real. this has got to be a bad dream, a nightmare. Like, wake up, this isn't reality. Unfortunately, it was. And so the only thing I could do was hold my breath for as long as I could, praying that one of my friends came over to my body and saved me.